Michael, Digital T-Shirt Shop, video number 2. So as we get going with this, I do have my instruction manual right here for installing that. But there's one other issue that I didn't talk about, and that's power. So when I built this room, I put it on a 20 amp breaker. The 20 amp breaker should allow me to run up to 2400 watts with that breaker if I've done my math and looked it up online and understand it correctly, which it should be. I don't know enough about electricity to say, but it should draw more power than a 10 amp breaker. I should be able to use more. Technically, from my understanding and reading up on it, I shouldn't regularly exceed 80% of that. My new heat press, the night heat press, from looking at the specs on it, draws about 1800. I believe the new printer draws about 90. And then I've got my paper printer, my laptop, a scale that probably are not drawing more than 100. That puts me right about 2000. But where my problem comes in is I do have this heater now, again, that heater. And then I also have, if I put the humidifier in here, I'm drawing more. Now, yesterday I was using the old printer, the Sprint, together with the heat press, together with the heater, together with the other devices. I didn't have any problems. That doesn't mean I won't have problems down the road. Now, over and over again, it was recommended to me to put the heat press on its own breaker. Now, as I built this basement, I did put this room on its own breaker, and I put the living room on its own breaker, and this side room on its own breaker. So technically, I could punch through this wall, or I could punch through that far wall, and I could plug it in over there and have access to it on a breaker that's not being used, or really not being used. The other room, this main room, the only way it's going to be used is if somebody's watching a movie, once we get a TV or whatever put in there. And for now, none of that's happening. The other room is, not being used. I think it actually ties to a bathroom, so you'd have to be using things in the bathroom in addition to using things. It's got a CGI on it too, the bathroom breaker. But the CGIF, or whatever the acronym is, it should be close. So but the other room over there is really not being used power-wise as well. And so I could put the heat press. I bought a couple things that I could feed a cord through the wall and that, but it I don't want to have to do it if I don't have to. So what I've done is I've gone and I've purchased, which was also recommended to me because it is electronics, but that was to get a battery backup. And so what I have purchased is this right here, an APC backup 650, what should allow me to continue operating even if the power goes out or the breaker trips. I'm not so much concerned about the breaker tripping. If I'm in here, I'm actually working and things are turned on, which I don't do all day every day. I do for just a couple of hours every day. Then it should be fine. In most cases, aside from that, everything else is going to be turned off. The printer will be off, the computer will be off, the scale will be off, the heat press will be off, and it would just be the printer on. They do require you to keep the printer on so it can run through maintenance and things like that throughout the day and evening. And so in order for that to be able to continually operate, it needs to be on something that will protect it from surges, and then also allow there to be a continual flow of energy to it, power source to it. So anyways, that's what I've done. That's what I have. So I'm going to hook that up before I go through the other installation, and just wanted to talk about that briefly. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Digital T-Shirt Shop.